Conor McGregor versus Jake Paul. Who would win? One is a notorious Irishman who became the first UFC fighter ever to hold championship titles in 2 different weight divisions. The other found fame on YouTube and after recently turning to boxing has racked up a professional record of 2 wins and 0 losses. It may seem crazy and unfair to pit these two against each other, but unbelievably, it's the latter of the pair who is trying his hardest to make the fight happen for real. So, does he have a shot? It's time for Conor McGregor versus Jake Paul. In terms of fighting experience, this one is an absolute no-brainer. Conor McGregor has a record of 26 professional MMA fights, of which he's won 22, 19 by knockout, and lost only 4. Those 4 losses have all come by way of submission, which may be an important factor to consider as we assume any matchup between McGregor and Jake Paul would take place in the boxing ring, not the octagon. That said, Jake has been seen in videos practicing his kicks as well as his punches. McGregor's only pro boxing match of course ended in defeat, but there was no shame in that as he put on a decent show against the undefeated world champion, Floyd Mayweather. By stark contrast, Jake Paul's 2 professional bouts were both wins, but they came against less than stellar opponents. He scored a TKO victory in the first round against fellow YouTuber Ali Gibb in what was both entertainers' first professional bout. Then, he sent ex-basketball star Nate Robinson to the canvas multiple times, finally knocking him down for good in the second round of his pro boxing debut. To be fair, Paul looked a lot more poised and professional than his opponents, but that's not exactly high praise. One of the perks of being an internet millionaire is that Paul has built some solid connections in the boxing world and he can afford to train with world-class trainers and ex-professionals. So far, he has trained with former world title challenger BJ Flores, multiple world championship winner Shane Mosley, trainer and longtime friend of Floyd Mayweather, Jaleon Love, plus he even posted a video claiming to be training with the man himself, Pretty Boy Floyd, back in 2018. So maybe we shouldn't write off the YouTube personality completely just yet. When it comes to their physical stats, Conor stands at 5 feet 9 inches tall and has a reach of 74 inches. When he faced up against Mayweather, he did so at super welterweight, which has a weight limit of 154 pounds. On the other hand, Jake Paul is 6 feet 1 inches tall and has a reach of 76 inches. The problem child has fought both of his fights at cruiserweight, which has a weight limit of 200 pounds. Paul boxes using an orthodox stance, whereas the left-handed McGregor tends to favor southpaw. Jake Paul is clearly looking for a big-ticket fight against a tried and tested combat veteran, though everything the YouTuber says should of course be taken with a pinch of salt before it's actually confirmed. After all, much of boxing and MMA these days is about the hype, and that's where Jake's expertise lies. In addition to calling out McGregor, he was allegedly close to scheduling a fight with former Bellator MMA and one welterweight champion, Ben Askren. However, Askren himself says that no progress has been made in talks since December 2020, believing that the internet icon is no longer interested. Incidentally, Jake Paul's brother Logan has confirmed a date when he will fight Floyd Mayweather in the ring. It will be February 20th this year. There are rumors that Jake could be next in line to face the veteran boxer afterwards. Meanwhile, Jake is eager to secure his own major fight and called out McGregor directly in a video late last year. In it, he hurls verbal abuse at the notorious one and insults Conor's nationality and his fiancée. Well, you can't say the kid's short on confidence. But is he just asking for a knuckle sandwich? Or can he actually cause an upset and make a name for himself in either boxing or mixed martial arts? When Khabib Nurmagomedov's manager learned of Jake Paul calling out Conor McGregor, he told TMZ Sports, "I like this kid. You know why? Because he is real. When he talked about Conor's wife, he said McGregor talked about Khabib's wife. I like Jake Paul." Abdelaziz went on to say, "I think he'll beat the shit out of Conor. Conor's teammates, all these guys. I like his brother, too, Logan Paul. They make something from nothing. Even Mike Tyson likes these kids. Mike is my friend." Now obviously Khabib's manager is likely to take the side of whoever goes up against the notorious one after Khabib and McGregor got into a major feud before their fight back in 2018, in which Khabib came out on top. But the fact that a YouTuber is getting such high praise and backing from professionals is hard to ignore. As for what Conor himself has to say about Jake Paul, well, he's been uncharacteristically quiet about it so far. He appears to be locked in and fully focused on his upcoming UFC fight with Dustin Poirier on 24th of January. However, McGregor's prodigy and sparring partner Dylan Moran did offer his own warning. The up-and-coming boxer said, "I have seen the video and personally, I find it very disrespectful. If he or Logan shows up, I will sleep those boys. They need to be taught some manners." Perhaps Conor will confront the issue and maybe even arrange a time and place to teach Jake Paul a lesson after his latest UFC fight. Should the intriguing matchup between Jake Paul and Conor McGregor actually happen, we think it will play out a little something like this. In the octagon, Jake protects himself from an onslaught of punches and kicks from McGregor in the early rounds, landing one or two counter punches which fail to hurt Conor at all. Paul attempts to use his size and weight advantage to take Conor to the ground and exploit the Irishman's weakness, but Notorious is too nimble and quick, evading the American's clutches with ease. A short pummeling later, and Jake Paul's team are either forced to throw in the towel or a punch connects that knocks the YouTuber out cold. It's a knockout in the third for McGregor, with Jake Paul having impressed to reach that far. In the boxing ring, things play out much the same way, but with less grappling and no kicks. McGregor skirts around the defenses of Jake Paul, and the Irishman's speed, agility, and surprising power is too much for Jake to withstand. A few failed attempts at turning defense into attack make the internet celebrity realize he's made a terrible mistake, and in those moments of panic, McGregor sees an opening and puts Jake Paul to sleep in the fourth round. And again, that's being generous. How many rounds do you think Jake Paul would last against Conor McGregor in the ring? Would he have any chance of winning? Give us your assessment in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, show your support by leaving a like and sharing it with others. For more content like this, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so that you can stay up to date with our latest uploads. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again in the next round.